Shanna with Shanna's Wire Wrap Jewelry. We're going to make a love bracelet today with this really cute little heart charm. If you haven't seen my tutorial on making love earrings, maybe consider watching that first, and so look for that. But I'm going to walk you through this step by step. The tools we're going to need for this project are standard jewelry making tools, flush cutters, needle nose pliers, chain nose pliers, a rubber mallet, a ruler, and I really recommend a steel bracelet mandrel. If you don't have something like this, you can use a cup or something to form your bracelet. The best gauge of wire to use is 16 gauge, and we're going to use this silver plated wire today, and I just have a nice piece cut. So a bracelet that you buy at the store that's just a bangle that does not have a clasp on it that goes over your wrist is a standard 8 inches long. With a clasp, you want to make a bangle that's a little smaller so it's not too floppy on your wrist. So most people can wear 7 inches, and that's what we're going to make today. So to get started, from the end of your wire, I want you to start making your L at about 6 inches. So we're going to need some extra length on each end to make our clasps. So if we start at about 6 inches, that gives us plenty of length. So this L has a loop on the left-hand side, and we're going to make a capital L. So if we take our tool and make a little loop and bring it up, you can just kind of follow along. I'm gonna just try to slowly make this so you can see it as best as possible. So here's our L, looks really good. Our O, we're gonna do a little bit differently than we did the love earrings. You can do it any way you want. This is just another option, another way to do the font. If you want to make just a circular O without the little loop on the top, then we need to bring the wire towards the back of that O. So bend your L down so it's a nice L shape, and then get your tool and wrap the wire around your tool. Make sure that wire goes behind the O. And then if you hold your needle nose pliers at the top of that L very firmly, just pull that wire straight down so we can start that V. And then at the very bottom of the O, make sure you line up the wire so that you can make that V in line with your O and the first L. I really like bending this back behind. So if you hold the top of the V on the right hand side and pull this wire straight down, just keeping everything in line and flattening the top of that V. Hold the V at the top with the tool, bring the wire straight over, and then to make the E, this is a lot easier than making the love earring because you don't have to make it so tiny, so your tools can fit in here a lot nicer. Okay, so we're going to hold this and just pull the wire around. A lot of times your chain nose pliers are kind of rounded at the top anyway, so it makes it a perfect shape to just pull that E around, and then hold it in the middle again and pull that wire around the tool, trying to make it in line with the letters on the top and the bottom. If for some reason your E ends up a little higher than you want it, then press it down here, and then you may have to pull up on the bottom just to resize that. I'm kind of put mine back the way it was. I liked it better. And then from this point, you can just kind of bring that E over, and then just kind of straighten everything out. Make sure that your love is aligned. Mine's a little bit crooked in spots, and so I'm just going to shape it up. Make sure it's going to lie flat on my wrist. And straighten out the wires on the end. So this is going to be a size 7 bracelet. So I want to put my wire, my love, in the middle of my 7 inches. So from 1 to 7, it's going to go between the 3 and the 4 here. See that? So I always measure. I'd never eyeball it. If I want to make a 7-inch bracelet, the love goes right in between. And then I bend the wire here at the 0 mark. And this is going to be a circle loop. And I hold the tool on the thickest end so I can make a nice loop. And I just bend that wire around and I keep it held in place while I take the slack and I wrap it around a few times. And then get your flush cutters on the flat end and snip off as close as you can. And then you're going to end up with a little sharp piece there that needs to be flattened out. So take your chain nose pliers and carefully press that down and feel it and make sure there's nothing sharp sticking up. Okay, that's one side. And then we measure again. So we're still at 0. Our love is still in the middle. We want it 7 inches long, but now we need to make the other side of the clasp. And we need to cut the wire 3/4 of an inch longer than where our final measurement is. So we're going to cut it at 3 1/4 inches long. And then I take the smallest part of my needle nose pliers and make a tiny little loop. And close the ends together. And then I come up maybe about a 1/2 inch or so with the thickest part of my needle nose pliers and bend this down. Maybe not quite a 1/2 inch. And then I want to pull this up. I didn't have you pull this tool out earlier, but if you have a bench block here, you can flatten out any of the wire that's kind of gotten crooked. Well, it looks great. From this point, we just need to shape it around our mandrel. So I'm going to hold the love on the flat end. This is kind of an oval. I hold it and then just wrap the wire around the other side of it. We can get the basic shape and then we can put it back on the mandrel and hammer it a bit with our rubber mallet. This will not harm your wire, so you can just hammer away and get a nice shape to your bracelet, kind of flattening out. Oops, that didn't really go quite as planned, but we're going to move forward and make the heart charms on the back of the bracelet. So our love bracelet is complete, but if you would like to continue watching and learn how to make a couple different heart charms, I'll show you that now. We have a little heart charm here that has a jump ring attached to it. And you start by using the small end of your needle nose pliers to make a little loop, and then continue turning this around to make the top of your heart. And then determine how big you want your heart to be. Bring this wire straight up. And then I always bend it back out a little bit so I can get my tool in there. I hold it at the thickest part of my tool and wrap it around. And that's about all. You can play with the size of it. Maybe I need to bring this in a little bit over here. But then just cut the other side of this heart. And line everything up. I always flush cut the end of my wire here. And then just make a little jump ring. It's just simply a circle of wire that we're going to use to attach that charm. And I flush cut the other side so each side is completely flat. And then you can open that up and put it through that hole there and close it. And then you can attach it to the end of your bracelet. For this other one, flush cut the end of your wire to start. Use your needle nose pliers and make a little loop. Then I want you to use your chain nose pliers and bend this wire up just a little bit toward that loop. And I'll try to turn this in a way where you can see what it is I'm doing. Turn it, and then I want you to flatten those ends together. This will make a little bit more sense as we get going here. I want you to use the thickest part of your needle nose pliers to hold on where we had that bend and make the first part of our heart. See? And then hold down where you want the end of your heart to be, and then pull that wire straight up. And then hold on where you want the top of the other side to be and pull that wire around the tool. Get your flush cutters and cut that wire off. And then just use your chain nose pliers there just to flatten up that heart and close everything together. So we have this little loop here that comes forward, and I like to bend it back. It just lays a little bit better when you have it on the bracelet. And it's just an adorable little charm with an attached kind of a jump ring. So then you can just open it and add it to the end of this bracelet. And now you're thinking of all kinds of things you can do with this, huh? You can make little pendants with it. But it just adds a fun little element to the end of your bracelet. And if you're making this for someone else, what's really nice is if you guessed the size wrong on the bracelet, this can always be used as an extender to add a little bit more length. If they don't need the length, then they can just attach that clasp on our original loop. But I hope you had fun. I hope you make these, and comment below and let me know if you liked the video, and please like and subscribe so you can be notified of future videos. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.